To be the quickest.
Most dangerous.
Most resilient.
To play for glory. For pride. To thrill.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the State Hockey Centre here at Gepps Cross for round 4 of the Super League. The Southern Storm taking on the Eastern Saints in the men's division tonight. We have the Saints who have played 2, won 1, and the Storm who've played 2, won 2. But we talk about how this league can throw things around. Apparently the regional players really struggling to get in because of the weather. The weather is bad. Has been terrible today. So no Al Oliver, no Sean Burgess, no Richmond Spouse, no Cooper Powdy, no Sean Herbert, all for the Storm. They have 1 outfield player on the bench and 1 goalkeeper on the bench. They are bare bones tonight. So if they come out, they'll go okay. They've got to do it. There's actually had Hugh Purvis written onto the sheet. His name was crossed out.
Not sure why.
Busy coaching.
Hasn't got the minerals.
just straight into him. Straight into him. The Saints, on the other hand, obviously being the city-based team, seem okay. I don't think there's any big outs for them. I've got a full list. No one's crossed out on that list. Daniel Cox not playing, unfortunately. We love to see Coxie run around and swing the mahogany. I don't know, what do you reckon his stick would be made out of? It's not carbon fibre, is it? Steel. Big iron stick. We love Coxie. Can't wait to see the rematch of Cox versus Joyce. Now we had the super slow-mo. Seeing that collision in super slow-mo will be absolutely fantastic. So I'm all excited about this one because both of these teams, the Saints will be out for revenge because they got absolutely towelled in round 1 by the Storm.
I think they went down, what, 7-1?
Yeah, it was pretty big. Last week, they beat the Pirates 2-1, and that's a very good Pirates side. Like I said, I thought the Pirates were going to go. But the Storm, obviously, they still have Curtis Wilson, the best and fairest from last year. They have Lockie Bussico, who I think was the top scorer from last year, scorer of the winning goal in the grand final. I haven't forgotten it. I'm pretty sure nobody from the Adelaide Hockey Club has forgotten it either. Brad Kitto is out there. Glyn Tamlin is out there. There's talent to spare. I can't wait to see this one.
Just whether they have the legs to get through it.
I think they will. You know, we did touch on it briefly about the amount of hockey that's being played now. So they're now 2 games a week. But they did. Was there a full comp bye last week, or did you all play?
Yeah, no hockey this weekend.
So
no senior
they're coming
hockey.
off a 7-day break. They should be absolutely raring to go right now.
Unless they've had a heavy 7 days.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be fine. I just hope their long weekend wasn't overly overly fun. As the players line up in front of us. So I'm just trying to see. They've got 11 out there. They've got 11 there. So we'll see whether we can get a shot of the Storm bench to see who's on it. But the Saints are there.
Surprised not to have the backup keeper in outfield kit.
Well, I did say, poor Curtis Wilson's trying to warm up, and I'm yelling at him from the stand to try and get a little bit of. Dan Mitchell's on the bench, and who's that? Number 4.
Ben Batts.
That's Ben Batts on the bench. So they have got 2 on the bench. Mitchell starting on the bench. He's going to just inject himself when he needs it, I think. As far as the Saints go, Jimmy Mitten's going to start this game. I was very impressed with Jimmy Mitten last week. He played very, very well. Ben Massey is there. No Brody Gleeson.
No Brody Gleeson at all.
He might be on the bench. I don't know. Haven't seen him yet.
Not seen him knocking around
There was
today.
no mention of him not playing. We were talking to him on Monday. There was no mention that he wasn't going to play. So that's an interesting one. We'll see what's happening there. I do love the fact that they've come up with all of these calls. I didn't quite hear what that one was. The Pirates say "arr" when they come out, which is absolutely brilliant. Just the straightforward Saints from the Saints. Surprised Ben Massey hasn't sold that face mask for a little bit of advertising yet. I'm sure Just Hockey can get him a sponsor. Get his face
little sticker on the bottom there.
His face mask made by just a little bit of Just Hockey advertising out there. So, you can probably tell I'm a little bit excited about this one. Should we get ready to go? Max Menadou will start us off. We're just waiting for the timekeepers and the umpires to be in the right position. And we are off and running. Boucicaut will send it out to Kitto. Kitto fires it forward. Oh, very, very nearly an early break. Ruben Wild down there. Menadou working hard. Will get the long corner. Now, can the Saints come out? Out towards Mitten. Very, very nearly made its way through. And the Storm will try and get through, but another long corner.
Very high tempo start to this game.
We have noticed that there is a notable difference in tempo between the men's game and the women's game, as Tamlin will just fire it in. Good defensive move and save by the keeper. Damon Leng back there between the sticks. Had to be on his game.
Straight at the keeper there.
Start to be dealt with, and normally when you see that ball bobble around in front of the keeper, they generally just flop on it and give away the penalty corner, but Leng cleared it away from danger. Now they will work away. Massey nearly came away with it, and he's disappointed. But it definitely came off his legs.
Wonder how long the Storm will hold out until their first rotation through.
Well, can the Saints weather the storm? Speaking of the storm, I'm just feeling a couple of drops of rain. I'm going to check my radar loop again. It is on its way.
How far away are we?
Not far at all. Hopefully it won't stay for too long. Tamlin out there on the far side, fires it into the circle, bouncing around. Menadou gets his stick on it, fires it towards goal. Leng again forced into action, does well. And the Saints now will look to come away. Massey will get on his bike, give him an option as a high striker. Tamlin does well though. Poked away by Cleghorn. Goal scorer last week, Tom Cleghorn. So it looks like the Saints are playing a half-court press, letting the Storm come in. Kitto turns Massey inside out, then works down that right-hand side, fires it towards the circle, but bounces its way through. Storm again will get a circle entry. Play on. That's what we like to see. Put your whistles away, umpires. Inside. Kitto will break it down. There is Mr. Gleeson down in front of us. He is there and waiting to come into the fray. And that one will roll into touch, but the Storm will be able to start from that far side. Good challenge on the edge of the circle by Massey. Massey looks for an outlet, finds an outlet on that right-hand side, then we'll get it back. Now he will go one-handed down that right-hand wing. Then he will send it forward to Angus Fry. Fry has players in the middle, has to wrestle it under control. Gets it eventually, gets the free hit. Fry had Mitten in the circle.
Some good tackling there, stopping Fry coming around the inside of him.
So out there on that far side again. Saints looking to fire it in to the circle. It's not Daniel Cox in the 15. I think, did we change shirts again? Storm trying to play around the back. The Saints trying to put as much pressure on as they can. They can't stop Boucicaut as he ranges forward over halfway. Then we'll send it towards Menadou, who just touches it onto Boucicaut. Boucicaut will make the byline. Then he will drag it back. Play on. Nothing doing there. Can they find an outlet? The transition, oh, Massey didn't look. He was making his way to the bench. Hopper Connie asking where are the Loxton boys, Herbert and Burgess. We don't think they can make it because of the weather, is what we are being told. Now the Storm again will get to the back. Speed of transition is incredibly quick from both sides.
And, you know, both sides clearly wanting to get something from the game, really pushing hard to, you know, not... I assume the Storm could potentially look to hold back, having 1-2, you know, with the finals coming up, but...
So the Saints happy to come back. Then they will come to this near side, to Hutchins. Hutchins happy to go back.
Both sides sitting deep, allowing the opposition to have the ball in their half.
Sorry, that's Robert Kane and James Hazer. So Hazer will send it forward. I don't know who the number 15 is. I have him down as Daniel Cox. It's not Daniel Cox, we know that much. Hopefully we'll get a message through who the number 15 for the Saints is. Send the Facebook people to go.
Nearly a great ball through there. Ben Bat's just unlucky not to get in front of the defender there.
Manadou will send it into the middle. Just knocked away from Busico. And come out onto this near side to Timothy Lee. He will stop and go back. Couldn't quite wrangle it under control, so Lee has to do the work. Goes past Tamlin, but wins the free, gives away the free hit. Morton will send it to Busico. If you give Busico time and space in that midfield, he's going to cause you problems. Ben Bat's over there. The mystery man.
Yeah, I have no idea where he's playing or anything, but...
All the way across from Wilson. They finally get it under control from Ruben Wild. Fires it forward, comes off the foot, so they will get a free hit. Have to bring it out.
Ruben Wild, of course, a very strong dribbler of the ball. Can move the ball very well.
Tamlin gets to the byline, drags it back. Still bouncing around in there, then cleared away.
Asking for the short, but not got the advantage.
No, will be a Saints ball. Autoplay. Has Mitten running for him. Mitten is another one who will run an absolute mile for not much. Then they will send it out onto that far side to the Daniel Cox replacement. Hattie Shand is watching with us. Hope you're having fun at your camp, Hattie. Saying that the Saints have a massive hole without Rafe Thompson. I think if you talk about players missing, the teams that are struggling the most will probably be the Storm.
Pirates again last week were struggling for numbers, but I imagine not quite as bad as this.
Well, you did say that you were asked to play on half a hamstring last week.
Yeah, glad I didn't. I think I'd struggle at with a full hamstring, but...
The Saints just trying to get a little bit of extra pressure and work hard on it. Fired forward, but Mitchell has entered the fray. Now he will send it forward. Mitchell will take up that defensive midfield position and maybe push Busico a little bit forward. Manadou will cross the 25. Has options. Saints do well to shut it down. Then they will go into that far corner. Anywhere will do. Wonderful control from our ball kid down there. Just pop the left foot up.
World Cup fever.
Mitchell out on the far side. Just lifts it towards Manadou. We are starting to notice, though, I called this a lot in the first couple of games for the Storm. Manadou is another high striker who just gets through an absolute heap of work.
And, you know, from my point of view, that's what I want to see high strikers doing. You know, as I said in the ladies' game, it's on, off, on, off.
So Angus Fry worked really hard to get it. The pass has worked to not Daniel Cox. Free hit just outside. Talking about GPS, Simon Wells, the number 13 for the Eastern Saints, has a telltale bulge in his back. He is wearing GPS tonight. He'll play to himself. fire it across the front. Mitchell does very, very well. Picks it out the air. Then we'll look for a release.
Mitchell
finds Kitto
in a deeper role by the looks of it tonight, rather than his typical high striker role.
I think Mitchell quite enjoys that sweeper role at times. There is Wells. Sends it in field. Can't get it past Wilson. Tamlin will look to bring it away. Tamlin will find one more. Then the little overhead. Not Daniel Cox. Picks it up. Sends it forward to Massey. Massey will send it in field. Worked out very, very well for the Saints. Goal scored by the Saints. Simon Brown, given time, given space, clinical in his finish.
Yeah, nice calm. Got the ball, played into space, got his eyes up and looked for that goal there. Looked for the space around the keeper. Brilliant goal.
So the Saints, within the first quarter, have taken the lead. Boucicaut sends it back to Mitchell. Mitchell will slide it forward. Lovely first time touch. Just Matt Morton not on the same page as Curtis Wilson.
Am I right saying Matt Morton is Moose?
I have no idea. The only nicknames we have are nicknames that I give people. That's the only ones I know. Again, a nice first touch. Out to Ruben Wild, who goes one-handed down that right-hand side. Had his stick kicked away by Rafe Thompson. That's one way. Is that not Rafe Thompson then, I'm assuming? The number 3?
Got him down here as Rafe Thompson. I'm not sure whether...
Mitchell sends it out to Wilson. Wilson will fire it forward into the circle. Storm again, doing everything they can. Sam Davis is out there and working hard. So Dawson is the number 15 for the Eastern Saints. I prefer not Daniel Cox, to be honest. And Ben Batts, we've been told, plays for Seacliff.
Seacliff.
So another Premiership player out there.
Large Seacliff contingent in that team, isn't there? All but 4.
Yeah, it's a trend that we're seeing in the Super League. It's the majority of one team with a couple of others. Nice.
Yeah, that is Rafe Thompson, number 3.
Okay, that is Rafe Thompson. He's done quite well. Boucicaut happy to go back to Wilson. Wilson has Mitchell available at the back. I think he enjoys playing that quarterback role and he's very well suited to it. Has a wide array of passing to Mitchell. And there we see a lovely direct pass. Options all over the place. Leng does well again. Penalty corner.
So that's Baird, or Baird as they call him, I think. Just playing the ball straight into the keeper there.
Numbers held up. I haven't seen that before.
Is that an umpiring thing? Is that a playing
I'm
thing?
not sure. It's not something I've ever seen before. And is it minutes or seconds?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyway, the injection will come. Wilson is there as one of them. It's going to go to Wilson with the drag flick. Deflected goal. There we go. First penalty corner of the night. Curtis Wilson will get it with the drag flick. Not much more you can ask for. We talked about it in the previous game. Injection, trap, drag flick, goal. That's the way you want it to be done.
Hard flick. Low right, I think. Just taking a deflection off the keeper there.
Just to the left, and that's the ball's moving that fast that either side of the keeper is going to be a problem. We talk about moving fast. Tamlin rolling back the years, going quickly.
Tamlin deceptively quick today.
Couple of whistles. Tamlin's gone quickly, but umpire not happy with where it was.
Oof. Upright reverse there from Ruben Wild.
Okay, well that explains why I didn't recognise this umpire. Our umpires tonight are Nathan Jennings over on the far side and Jim Uncles is on this side. Jim Uncles is from Victoria and he's on the panel for the Youth Olympics. Probably why he's in Adelaide, he's probably involved in that camp. The secret camp. Anyway, minute and a half to go. We're all tied up in this first quarter of hockey.
Pressure just starting to be built from the Saints, from the Storm even. They're starting to build that press forward.
Now, can the Saints add the same amount of pressure, or will the Storm be able to get out? The Storm does break. A lovely first-time ball. Menadou bearing down on goal. What can he do? Just runs it a little bit too far. Len comes out. Good stop, long corner. Just didn't quite have control of it.
Too far out, maybe going a bit too quick with that ball there. You know, the further he took it in, the less angle he had, and it showed there.
So the Saints will have the 16-yard hit. 40-odd seconds to go. Sent it rather into a bit of a pressure situation.
Hamlin not happy with the decision.
It was quite interesting then to see the Storm players. They went to argue with Mr. Uncles. Kind of went, well, we don't know who you are. We're going to go back to Geno. So Wilson will go down the line. Ruben Wild will win the free hit, then go himself quickly.
22 seconds left. Can they get something out of this half?
Just got to be fired in. Wilson just has to fire it in and hope for some level of deflection. Takes it out into the corner. Is he happy for the time to run out? No, he will fire it across the front. The Saints, anywhere will do for them. Not there. That's gone straight to Wild. Another deflection just outside the circle. Thompson has to work hard to get it away. Reverse stick, fires it down the line. We will end the quarter. A rushed quarter, one goal apiece. Goals from Simon Brown for the Eastern Saints and Curtis Wilson from the short corner. Just see the Simon Brown finish. It's a lovely, lovely finish.
Really composed, really calm. Just slided it away. And you know what? 1-1, fair result for that half. It's been a good half. Chances from both sides. And it's just a big question now is, as the game goes on, can the Storm keep up their intensity with the lack of players?
As we see the short corner from the Storm as well. Excuse me, while just had problems coughing. Brad Kidder with the world's biggest water bottle there. I mean, that's how you stay hydrated, Bradley. Bring a gallon of the stuff. But the Curtis Wilson penalty corner, as we see it in the super slow motion, the pace that he gets on it, it's in the back of the neck before even Mr. Len can deal with it.
Yeah, I think that the pace of the flick there is what's made that keeper deflect it in rather than actually get a firm save on it. It's such a hard flick.
The banter is strong in the Facebook comments as well out there. It's almost a competition to see who can give the best compliment out there at the moment.
Like the Dan Mitchell one.
Daniel Mitchell has great balance. He's a step above the rest. That's from Emma Dubrow. James Mitten, your physicality separates you from the rest. That's from Hattie Shand. And Simon Brown, your leadership is absolutely unbeatable. You give the Saints the edge. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's nicer than what we normally see. So, quarter time, 1 goal apiece. It's been, this is the thing with these Super League games, they absolutely fly by how quick they are. And like you said, a draw is a fair result so far. End of the first quarter, 1 apiece. We'll just, restart it.
See, the pressing's starting to get higher. The team's starting to push a bit harder. And I just hope that intensity keeps building all the way through. Let's see how it turns out if it does.
So, as we get ready and the teams come out, will we see fatigue become an issue for the Storm? Because they obviously can't rotate like the Saints can.
Yeah, and it'll be really real test of some of the players out there, whether they keep their heads, keep their decision making up, even though they're getting fatigued, because that's the first thing that tends to go, your decision making.
Well, that's why you do the training again. Not that I'm a hockey coach, but when I coached rugby, that was the thing. We needed to make our players tired so that the basic skills could be done under pressure. So this is the biggest test the Storm will probably face so far in this Super League season, is playing with a very limited roster. Can they deal with it?
And this is why, your training sessions now are more centered towards small-sided games. That intensity, that decision-making has to be kept up.
Wells will look for an early circle entry, not sure which way it goes, and finally it will be given to the Saints. The umpires are communicating. I'm pretty sure that hockey is polite enough that one night we might be able to mic up one of the umpires and just hear how that goes. We'll see whether we can negotiate that with Hockey SA and our producer. Thompson, one-handed down the left-hand side, fires it across the front, cut out by Wilson. Pressure comes from Mitten. Mitten will steal it. Mitten will make his way into the circle, fire it to the front, sent it to the back post, and Brody Gleeson, who's normally hanging around there, wasn't there. Sent it right to the Gleeson spot. Send across the front to Wilson. Gleeson with the pressure on this time. Makes him have to go all the way back to Mitchell. Mitchell calmly steps out, then fires it forward. Nice turn by Menadue, just didn't go with the ball. Menadue has to wait for support to come. Comes eventually, but they're happy to go back. All the way back to Mitchell. Mitchell has.
Storm just looking to slow it down a little bit, build it up, see the pass, play the right pass, which is good to see.
Out
That's
to
what
Wilson.
they need to do.
Wilson looks to pick a pass through. Cut out to Gleeson. Mitten will get on his bike. There's a couple of blue shirts in or around, and the pass from Gleeson is a loose one. Wilson can pick it up and go back to Mitchell. Overhead from Mitchell, beautiful, right on the stick. Just drops on Hutchins' stick. Then it will be fired forward by Mitchell. Hit quickly by Menadue. Menadue will go to himself, then try and get in the circle, and will get the penalty corner. Busico is on the pitch this time. Couple of drops of rain falling.
Got a number of options from the Storm on the top of the shorts, haven't you? You've got, you know, I think Dan Mitchell was flicking the other day for Seacliff against Grange.
There are a number of options there. Busico obviously famously now scored the winning goal in the Premier League Grand Final. The very last play of the game. So now we have Wilson and Busico. And I think the rain is coming. Trap comes, Wilson, drag flick. Bounces away. I'm not sure whether that came off the post, but it's come all the way out to Mitten. Mitten will send it to Thompson. Thompson has a number of options. Can he find any of them? Gets to Gleeson in a roundabout way on the 25. Picks the pass just outside the circle, surrounded by yellow shirts. The rain is coming. Outside the circle, cut down just outside. There's a break on if they can find Menadue. Just behind it, but he's still going. Runs all the way through. The blue shirts streaming back to try and just corral Menadue. Not to be able to do anything. He'll send it out. Then the ball will come across. Came off something. Umpire says play on. And it will come out to Wells. Wells will turn. Carry across halfway. Goes past Busico. Can't go past Mitchell though. Experience beats youth, and then a beautiful aerial. Wonderful control out of the air. That by Matthew Bird. Bird just gets it taken off him, but there's going to be a card.
What's happened there?
I think it wasn't 5. I don't think it was 5 because he played on. Another whistle. Free hit to the Saints. Nice ball, but Tamlin read it well. Will pick it up. Sends it in field to Wild. Wild will go all the way back to Kitto. Wild will receive it again. Nice little touch back to Tamlin. Tamlin gives it back to Wild. Wild will send it forward into the circle to Bird. Bird does well, beats the first one, can't beat the second one. Thompson has to deal with it. Gets the free hit eventually, and the Saints can relieve a little bit of pressure. I would be surprised if the Storm can keep this work rate up.
Yeah, you can see starting to flag there. Menadue's just maybe slowed down a bit, looks a bit tired, and maybe it's the same around the pitch.
I'm just trying to see whether Menadue would be one of those who was wearing a GPS. So I'd certainly love to see the distance travelled for him. And not just the distance travelled at full speed. Tamlin on halfway. Sends it back to Wilson, who miscontrols it, but he's got all the time in the world back there.
Saints letting them have the ball up here.
So they've dropped almost all the way back to the 25. No high striker. Now they will come out. I think they're just hoping that their pace will get them out if they go.
And I imagine with the fatigue of the Storm, the Saints may be looking to hit them on the break.
Out to Mitten. Mitten gets it under control. Has Wilson to deal with. Mitten with great commitment wins that ball back. Then it's sent into Fry. Fry is dispossessed, and gives away the free hit. Kitto will send it forward. Then it will come all the way back to Tamlin. Tamlin will send it out to Crowhurst. Crowhurst had Gleeson to deal with, literally coming off from his green card. Tamlin fires it forward. Mitten will get a stick on it. Bird misses it. Finds its way through to Menadou. Menadou will run around the back, get to the byline, flick it across the front.
Hutchins there, just not quite getting the right touch on it.
Did what he could, just couldn't get it goal bound. I know we talked about this on Wednesday, but Jimmy Mitten has been incredibly impressive with his commitment and his chase. He makes things out of nothing.
And this is the stage to do it on as well, with the 21s in the AHL coming up. I don't know if he is 21s or...
I don't know. I don't think he qualifies for an under-21 spot. Nice little touch from from Fry. Sent down the line to Busico. Busico can't get out of there, can't get out of the 25. Lovely close work. Works down that sideline. Can he get to the byline? Brings it onto a foot, so we'll get the free hit. Then they can rebuild from out there on the right-hand side. First time ball into the middle. Still bouncing around in there. Fry will lift it into the roof of the net. Fry will score his first goal of the game. That will push them out to a 2-1 lead. Just persistence again. We talked about persistence.
And fantastically taken by Fry. Ball came to him over the keeper's shoulder. You know, fantastic flick, fantastic goal. And I think this is where we maybe will start to see a few more of those, just through that the fatigue factor coming in from the Storm. You know, turnovers like that leading to that persistence from the Saints.
So out to Busico. You can probably hear that rain start to fall on our effects, Mike, and we are off and running again. Mitchell will send it back to Tamlin. 7.5 minutes to go. Sent down the line to Busico. Busico will stop, bring it back inside. Very, very friendly spectator has just handed us an umbrella. I have to get that gentleman's name, give him a shout out. Mitchell will send it forward. They're still bouncing around in there.
Wow.
That is an incredible save. Penalty corner.
I'd happy give it a short there, if that save, yeah.
Yeah, well now go and defend it.
But I mean, that's great work from Ruben, the strength to get the ball in. Ruben Wild, and that probing shot there, but even better save on the line. Fantastic.
That's Robert Kane on the line. Now, if they go and defend that, they all should be buying him a cup of tea after this one. Just look at this weather. I mean, you've not been in South Australia long enough to understand just how good this is for the state. This weather.
Well, he's very non-stop the last 2 days, hasn't it, really? Yeah.
Well, I'm blaming you. So the injection comes. Wilson is thereabouts again. This one will go to Busico. Busico with a drag flick. Busico with the goal. And just like that, we're back even. See whether we can see a replay of that. We're just going to sort our rain stuff out.
Yeah, Busico last minute just really pulling that hit there and taking that ball from right to left. 1 foot in the keeper there. Fantastic flick. Busico, of course, Australian 21s, I believe.
He's been he's on an astronomical, he's going to make hockey waves.
And you really hope so. He's a really great bloke.
Short fuse though. To Fred Gray. Gray gets dispossessed by Ben Batch. Ben Batch will then turn him one way, then another. Manages to keep his feet, which is no easy feat in this weather. Mitchell. Excuse me for laughing. This is, I'm so grateful for this umbrella. So the Saints will look to rebuild. Simon Wells looks despairingly at somebody. Don't think he agreed with what just happened. Fred Gray ranging forward. Swaps back inside, throws a blind little pass, and now there's a break on. How quickly can they get away? Menadou working hard. Buzzico puts in a run for him. Buzzico gets rewarded. Then we'll send it across the front. It's already raining. Get on your front. You're not going to get any wetter. Alec Hutchins just jogging past it. Out to Fred Gray. He'll send it all the way back. Pass goes forward, no sticks on it at all, so the Storm will come away with it.
Is there a bit of lightning there?
I think there is a bit. I'm not sure, but I think it's in there. I think we're safe. Well, the players are definitely safe because we're holding the lightning conductor. If anyone's going to get it, we are. Then we'll send out to Wild. Wild will work down into that right-hand corner and get the free hit. I think that definitely is lightning, isn't it?
I don't know what the rule is on the lightning here.
Little bit of autoplay. Wild working hard down in that right-hand corner. 16-yard hit. It's just down in that spot that we normally refer to the monitors, but the monitor is now dry and safe, so we just lose what happens down there in that right-hand corner. So the Saints just inside their own 25, just push down the line, but nobody there. For 3 minutes.
Saints just pushing a bit harder now there. Brody trying to cut that transfer back.
Mitchell out to Kitto. Kitto under pressure from Hazer and Gleeson. Gleeson will have to keep working hard.
Oh,
nice little nudge in the back for Buzzico. Play on, referee. Hit off, we're running again. Then it will go out to Mitten. Mitten works hard, does well, beats a couple, then flicks it up, looks for a corner, gets the free hit. Now Wells was available, but they just cut that down. Now it's going to be fired forward. Hazer working hard. Got nudged in the back, so penalty corner, I think. The
maybe
Saints'
just starting to get a bit
penalty
slippy out
corner
there.
of the day.
With the water on the pitch, looked like Tamlin just slipped a bit through.
We might be able to have a look under our little
See if
fort
we can
and
get
see. Geez, you just see how bad that rain is. It's, I wouldn't like to be out there. So the short corner getting ready. Mitten, it looks like, going over to get it into the ball kits. May have given up over on that side. We've got two troopers over on the far side still going, but Mitten had to go and play ball kit for himself. Double battery. Wells is one. It's going to go to the first one. There we go. One
Brilliant
from one.
flick. Brilliant flick
Yeah,
there.
that's the number 10. James Hazer will score that one. This is a goal fest in a good way. Just a good flick. If the flick is strong enough, there's not a lot that Michael Wells can do. We just can't react quick enough.
Well, you take it on that glove side. Anything wide there, you struggle to get to. And then maybe just would have liked a bit more from Mitchell on the post, but you know, what can you do as a postman?
Well, the ball's moving so quickly, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Mitchell, again, will try and restart them from the back. Massey now the man putting a little bit of pressure onto Mitchell. Mitchell tomahawks it all the way down. Seems he's got some power on that.
Can see the intent.
I would be interested to go to the driving range with the likes of Dan Mitchell and Al Oliver and just see if you can just let them rip with a driver, just see what your contact is like. Forget all of that golfing stances and stuff, just pretend it's a hockey ball. Launch it an absolute mile. The rain gets heavier. Officially the worst conditions I've worked in. So, free hit to the Storm. Aptly named Storm tonight. Mitchell fires it forward. Come on, get on your front. I want to see him dive at least once. Less than a minute to go in this half. I'm surprised the players haven't called it a half already.
It's a great pick from Ruben Wild.
Well, even the ball is starting to hold up now, which you don't normally see. Normally you would say that the ball would move better as it rains, but it's absolutely saturated right now.
Just wonder if they'll walk the pitch at half time too.
Someone's got a card. Kitto. Interestingly, Simon Wells kind of rolled his eyes at the umpire because he wanted to go quick.
And maybe Kitto's done that. 20 seconds to go. You know, just hold the play up a little bit.
He just wants to get dry. That's all it is. The Saints will continue to come. Just stopped outside, but a free hit to the Storm outside. That should be it, because the ball kids have given up at that end.
Watch your players run off the pitch here.
Yeah, no one's interested. There we go. Siren sounds. So we get to three-quarter time. Is that three-quarter time, half-time?
I think that's half-time.
That's half-time.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a rest. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. We're going to try and get our camera operators dry. I'm aware that you're seeing replays. You're not entirely sure what the replays are. But that is the weather. That is the scene here at the State Hockey Centre. Hopefully it will disappear. It does appear to be going off, but we're going to take a short break, go and get some dry. Ladies and gentlemen, stay where you are. We'll be right back for quarter number 3 of this of the Super League, brought to you by Hockey SA and powered by Spacequake Sports. Welcome back to the State Hockey Centre as we see some of the replays from the first half. There's that goal line clearance. That's an excellent clearance. I may have lost my, I think I've lost my pen now. It's all gone wrong, it's all gone Pete Tong. Well, the rain has abated. How long for, I don't know. I have an encroaching river of water on my desk. We just see the drag flick goal from Busico as well. You just see that Leng was stepping to his left and it's gone the opposite direction. That's the disguise that they put on it is amazing. And I think the final goal of the half, as it was, another good drag flick. Got a hand to it.
Perfectly placed.
So we are underway in the Super League. In the third quarter, the Premiership quarter, and we're off and running.
Saints look to be sitting, Storm even sitting down in the half court. Front up.
Oh, just too hard. Well, it's going to be an interesting moment now as that pitch drains away, where it will just be absolutely tip-top and perfect. Another circle entry, kicked away. It's going to come straight back though. Saints have done well. Can they get away?
Wide was just looking there on the baseline for the short, rather than looking to get a pass away. Didn't quite get it.
So we did get a report at half-time as well that Mr. Busico's been opened up somewhat on one of his elbows. I'm just trying to see which one. Apparently he was wearing a little bit of a war wound. Angus Fry making his way in there and then almost getting the return ball. Leng comes out very, very well. Big and strong. Tamlin at the back. Saints leading this one 3-2, which would turn this competition on its head again. Kitto will re-enter the fray. Tamlin was held short. Now they can rebuild. Fired across the front. Leng has to make a save. Does make a save. This will be interesting. It'll put them on the same. I think the Storm would be on top on goal difference, and only the Pirates would be down, having lost 2 games.
Pirates, of course, play the Saints next week, right? Or Storm next week?
It's Pirates Storm next week, I think. That one will go across the front and then just cleared away by Mitchell.
Storm sat right off here.
So a 16-yard hit. It's a little bit slower than it was before. Understandably, you would think. Just trying to
way
dry
down
out.
by the wet.
Yeah. Gray will send it across to Thompson. Thompson will look and just lose control of it.
It's just the second time there, that half court with no pressure on, just maybe just a few errors come in.
So our ball kids, now sporting some rather natty ponchos, have come back into the action. Manadou working hard again, tried to pick a ball out, couldn't quite get through. Now they will look to break. Cleghorn will turn, has Gleason over on the overlap. Burns Gleason, well left, out to that far side to Hazer. Hazer will drag it, turn back in, get the circle entry. Mitchell in the right place at the right time, shows his experience and his wealth of knowledge. Then just kind of gets it caught up in his feet. Has Mitten for company, but disposes of him quite easily and then hits it into him. Mitten again can launch an attack. Beats 1, beats 2, beats 3. Gleason picking it up. Mitchell does well to come back and sort it out. Just a stick on it. So Gleason will work down into that right-hand corner. We'll pull it back, but the Storm can intercept and go. Manadou covers a lot of ground. To use a football parlance, he is box to box. Back to Tamlin.
Saints cutting that transfer off, or nearly cutting it off.
Mitchell will go one out to the left-hand side. Advice from Mitchell ignored. Kittow has it poked away by Simon Brown, who scored one of the goals tonight. Goal scorers for the Eastern Saints, Angus Fry, Simon Brown and James Hazer. Curtis Wilson and Lockie Bussico scoring for the Storm, both from short corners, both drag flicks. Tamlin will range forward, just a little bit of a loose pass and it goes out of play. Storm, we talked about tempo, and the tempo has dropped from both sides now. Are the Saints going to try and defend that 1-goal lead? Hope to nick one on the break. Trying to go over the top of Menadou. Menadou was having none of it. Beats the first one. Then we'll get going. 3-on-3. Turns it into a 4-on-3 as Bussico will come in. Good defending though. And away come the Saints. Pressure coming. Just eases through the gears and then fires it down the line, and Wells again.
And just talking about that tempo there, you could see the carry was quite slow and there was not that major effort to get that ball back. It was sort of letting him go.
Mitten picks it out of the air. Just loses it on the stick and Curtis Wilson can come away. Menadou, unsurprisingly, will make a run for him. And then the ball will be sent back in. Out to Tamlin. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell will cross halfway, fire it forward to Menadou. Geez, they ask a lot of questions of him.
So the Storm have just stepped up a little bit in their press, gone to the 3/4 really. Be interested in thinking behind their pressing and how they're going to change it up as we go forwards.
I'm being told that it was James Keeves with the drag flick, not James Hazer.
Have we found out who 15 is?
Yeah, it's Dawson. I'm still happy with not Daniel Cox though. Thompson will send it down the line to Massey. Massey will not be able to control it. William McDonald leaves for 5 minutes, missed 2 goals in a rainstorm. And it was a rainstorm. So Keeves will collect it and send it forward to Simon Brown, hopefully. Out to Gleeson. Gleeson will fire it towards goal. Came off the hand of Tamlin, and couldn't be corralled in. Dawson, not Daniel Cox, doing everything he could. Little aerial over the top, didn't quite make it. Simon Brown able to pick it up, will send it back to James Humphreys. Humphreys will get his head up, look for options, then just a little push down the line. Finally managed to wrangle it under control, still bouncing around there in a long corner. Not Daniel Cox, will send it back. Out to Gray, then out onto that far side. Then it will come all the way back to Sam Davis. Davis tried to go round the back, didn't quite get there. Lovely move out of the back from Reuben Wild, and Wild now has to work hard as Davis works back at him.
Do you see the work rate starting to lift from both sides now? You know,
Fry does very, very well in a tight space and will turn out of a problem. Massey will make a run down the line. Will the ball get all the way through to him? It does. Now the blue shirts are starting to stream forward. Sends it into not Daniel Cox. Cox, not Daniel Cox, sends it out to Gleeson. Gleeson down the line to Mitten. Mitten, one-on-one. What can he do? He manages really well to keep bumbling forward. Picked off by Wilson. Wilson has it nicked from him from Fry, but illegally. Dawson sends it in field, cut off by Busico. Busico happy to get his head up and look out to that right-hand side to Bird. Robert Kane does very, very well and intercepts.
First slide we've seen since the wet.
I know.
Come down,
I love it. I love it when they put that commitment in. Back to Kitto. Kitto back to Tamlin. Tamlin will range forward, then fire it forward. Just couldn't get it under control and 16-yard hit. 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. See rain on my screen. A little bit of PTSD from it, to be perfectly frank. Anyway, we're off and running again. Humphreys. Happy to go back. Again, not much pressure coming at the moment, but it still has to find a pass, and there's a lot of yellow shirts in front of him. Out to Gray. Gray will let it run across, then we'll turn back inside and go back to Humphreys.
Storm doing very well here in terms of their pressing to hold that middle. So let them have the ball wide, hold the middle, try and cut it off there.
Storm again, happy to go, sorry, the Saints again, happy to go back. Humphreys, again, nothing in front of him. So they will have to go out to Davies. Davies sends it down the line, but there's nobody there, so it'll be a 16-yard hit, and the Saints can try and set up their press now. Tamlin will swap with Mitchell. Mitchell just hanging around on this near side, hoping no one was going to see him, but Dawson did have him. Lifted down the line by Wilson to Busico. Busico stands on that ball. Just keep an eye on him as he gets up. Hopefully he didn't roll that ankle.
Not cut into the elbow.
Mitchell is hanging out here on this left-hand wing. Now Mitchell will make a run. Can he see him? Does he see him? He does see him. Can Mitchell get there? Oh, he could. He just couldn't bring it under control. Good run, though. Davis back to Humphreys. Wells asking for the aerial. Probably going to end up at Wells. Does, and he will play to himself. Then send it in field. And it will go all the way across to Fred Gray. Gray looking for options inside, but again, as you said before, the Storm have taken away that middle. So they have to come all the way back. Every time they look up, they're just confronted by yellow shirts. Sent out to Davies. Davies with Menadou to beat, and Menadou does very, very well. Turns him inside out, beats the first one, then
Great
gets
tackle.
it taken off him by Dawson. Dawson will look to send it into the circle, bounces around, gets to Wells. Wells will fire it, good save, still bouncing around, still going. Incredible shot at goal, it's still out there. Tim Lee with an amazing shot at goal.
Is that the upright reverse? Oh, there were about 4 shots in there, yeah.
Michael Wells doing very, very well. A couple of saves in there. So out on that far side, less than 2 minutes to go in this third quarter, the Premiership quarter as it's known. Goalless quarter. Out to Humphreys. Humphreys will fire it in front. Lee is there. He knew what he wanted to do. Very nearly worked for him.
I'm sure his coach won't be the happiest bloke with that.
Very, very close. Out to Mitchell. Mitchell will throw a little disguised pass in the middle. Fired forward, comes off a Saint stick. Thompson will just accelerate, try and relieve the danger. And
it's great pressure there to force Thompson to knock that ball out.
Bird working down the byline, can't quite get out there. Then it will be sent forward to Lee. Lee will stop and prop. Can send it over to Wells. Wells beats the first one well. Second one tries to get across as Wells will pirouette out of trouble. Send it back to Cleghorn. Cleghorn sends it out, but it will roll harmlessly into touch over here. Mitchell in no great hurry, 30 seconds. See a big aerial coming. Now he plays to himself and will just fire it across, all the way across to Kitto. Kitto will send it down the line. Lovely little touch into the corner, but obviously something they've worked on.
Yeah, neither forward deciding to step into it, just letting it go for each other.
That will be that for the third quarter. No change to the score. The Saints 3, the Storm 2. Goals from Angus Fry, Simon Brown and Keeves. Not James Hazer. And the goals for the Southern Storm, Curtis Wilson and Lachlan Bussico, both from the short corners. Even though there's no goals in that, there was action-packed. Michael Wells kind of keeping them in that with the double save.
Yep.
And Timothy Lee with an absolutely gold-plated chance in front. See what he was trying to do?
Yeah.
Mario Balotelli got subbed off for doing something like that in a friendly. Not suggesting that. Actually, that's the kind of thing you want to see. And that on screen is Max Menadou, who's probably run about 3 marathons already tonight. He has worked hard, that young man. He's and it's not the first time I've said that about him.
Yeah, I take Rising Star at Seacliff 2017, so I take it he's a young guy. I'd hope he'd run around lots as a young guy, and I would assume he's pushing for the 21s, or he's in the 21 squad.
I would assume
coming
so.
Into this,
yeah. I mean, we're both kind of new to South Australian hockey, so we'll take it as we read. But on our notes, it says that he's been in the the state teams from under 12 to under 15, from 2011 to 2014. So certainly some state pedigree there. Someone commented before, again, I've had to close my computer, so I'll go back and see whether we can find some Facebook comments. Someone commented he's a future best and fairest, which, you know, judging by how he's going, you wouldn't argue with that at all.
Or did it read as future GOAT?
Oh, that was it, future GOAT.
Greatest of all time.
Future great, that's a massive call. I mean, can we put Steph Curry in that argument? Anyway, enough of my NBA memes. Yeah, but he's played very, very well. I've been, again, impressed with James Mitten. James Mitten, he's a nuisance. Not just on the hockey field, but on the hockey field, he's an absolute nuisance. Like, he doesn't allow anybody any time to do anything, really. Simon Wells has had his moments. Fred Gray has been dependable as usual, as you would expect from the Young Player of the Year for 2017. Gleeson has been Gleeson.
Yeah, of course.
You have to see him go on one of his trademark one-handed runs down the wing. So he runs with pace and one hand. Anyway, the final quarter underway. Out to Fred Gray.
You can see from the start here, Storm already putting pressure on, already trying to see, you can see their intent straight away.
Mitchell playing a much higher role than we've seen him all night. Will that one make it through to Massey? It won't. But Wells can take it, and Wells can go if he wants to, which he does. Wells will drop it back towards Mitten. Mitten drops it off. Nice little weighted pass from Mitten, and he's going to come all the way back again. They're happy to just play keep ball. Whether they can do that for 15 minutes, I don't know. Massey just couldn't control it. Wilson will look for a pass outlet to Bussico. Bussico has it, sends it forward. Comes off I think that comes off Keeves. Tamlin will send it out to Menadou. Just couldn't quite get there.
I can almost guarantee you if the scoreline stays the same, in 10 minutes time, they'll be keepers off. We'll be moving around.
Well, we had it last week. We had it in both the games last week, and Tim White wasn't overly convinced by the tactic. Huge aerial. Can Wilson get it under control? He can, but he immediately will get Massey for company. Turns Massey too easily, really. Wilson then ranging forward, all outlet to Bussico. Bussico against Wells. Bussico beats Wells. Free hit given away. So they will go quickly. Down to Wilson on the byline. He does wonderful close control, still bouncing around there. There was no way he wasn't going to find anything other than a foot. So no, it's their fourth, isn't it? Because they did miss one. So fourth penalty corner of the night.
If you look there, defender just slightly overcommitted, lost his balance, and that's where he lost it. That's where he gave away the short there.
Wellesley, Mr. Wells, Simon Wells, well done Wellesley. You could hear him in the background, still having a conversation with Mr. Uncles. Anyway, the injection will be coming shortly. Double battery. Wilson and Buzzico. Familiar faces there at 1 and 2. Wilson with the drag flick. Wilson with the goal. Tied up again. Wilson's second goal of the game. Both from drag flicks.
Flick's just getting better and better this game.
Incredible power. Again, there's not a lot that Damon Leng can do. It's past him before he can react.
Yeah, keeper's dropped the wrong way, and it must have been that last hit movement, that real drag round.
So we're all tied again. 13 minutes to go. Back to Mitchell, who's worked his way back into that quarterback position. Tongue out, almost Michael Jordan-esque. Out to Kitto. Sends it back to Tamlin. Tamlin with his head up. Looks for the aerial, finds the aerial. Mitten gets a stick on it. Important stick, but it doesn't stop it going through to Bird. Bird will pick a pass. Lovely pass into the circle. Is that head? Whoa. Jeez, Simon. Robert Kane.
Really well defended. Good pressure out.
He wore
Body
it.
on the line.
I think it just glanced off, which is better than a hitting solid.
That's giving away the short, yeah.
It's giving away the short by getting hit in the head. Anyway, the super slow-mo of the last penalty corner. Just see whether you can just see that. Yeah, it just drags it. Was there a deflection as well? Maybe a small deflection. So, Wilson is on a hat-trick. Do you go back to him?
Straight strikes, well, flicks from the top worked every time, so.
5th penalty corner of the day. Injection comes, back to Wilson. Wilson with the flick, Wilson with the goal. Wilson is 100%. Wilson gets a hat-trick. Wilson 100% from short corners. Can't ask for better than that. Just turn it around. I'll probably see the biggest smile in the world from Darren Nimke. 100% on your penalty corners, individually. That's
swung the game, that 4-3 now. That's brilliant.
Just incredible. Talk about taking control of a game.
And when you're shooting low, you've got to place it well. You've got to really place it, and he's done that.
And Damon Leng is the Adelaide keeper, and it's an interesting. Everyone's friends. I imagine there'll be a little bit of back and forward. Couldn't get anywhere near it. Curtis Wilson was playing chess, and the goalkeeper's playing checkers. Mitchell. Big aerial. The thing about Mitchell's aerial is, though, it's accurate. It's not just long and into nowhere. He puts it where he wants it to go. So Wells out there with the push in, 11.5 minutes to go. Sent down to Massey. Fry will turn on a sixpence and fire it into the circle, but it's going to come back out. Wilson. Pressured by Fry. Has it poked away, but they will get the ball back again. Mitchell will fire it down the line, but that one doesn't get there. Wells will go quickly. Just hangs a lazy pass in, but is going to turn out. Tamlin with a lovely challenge and pushes it away. Ben Batts does well to keep going, and then we'll find Buzzico. Buzzico sends it out to that far right-hand side, then down the line. Interesting challenge, but keeps going and flashed across the front of the goal, and no one could get a stick on it. Yeah, that was Manidu again, who just ran through. See super slow motion from this one as well. Again, Leng just moving away to his left. It must be a very late change in his action.
Well, they'd run the 3-1 there. They left that post open. The keeper wanted to go there, and he's put it where he wants it and still gone past the keeper.
What do you mean? You see the replay there? Leng is already moving to his left. Must have incredible disguise on it. So the Storm will come again, and then they will find room in the circle, but poked away by Wells. Long corner. Menadue coming for a well-earned rest in front of us. All the way out to Wilson, then back to Mitchell.
Storm will be happy to keep the ball here.
Nine minutes and a bit. Mitchell will send it to Tamlin. Tamlin back to Mitchell. They are happy to play keep ball a little bit. Little reverse stick pass out to Tamlin. Constantly talking, Mitchell. That one was sent through. Fred Gray does well and gets rid of it. Then aimlessly, unfortunately, just sends it away. Needed to pick a pass. Pressure's just going to come right back on.
Slightly surprised to see the Saints not putting more pressure on there and letting them have the ball at the back. But I suppose they're going to start building up and seeing if they can later.
One of my favourite sayings, come home with a wet sail, but we absolutely drenched tonight, that sail. Grim Wild goes back to Tamlin. Tamlin will send it forward to Wilson, and Wilson will come back to Mitchell.
This is really smart play from the Storm, just keeping it. Safe pass, safe pass, safe pass all the way through.
If the Storm have the ball, the Saints can't score. That one will almost find its way through, just too fast for Buzzico, but it will be a long corner. And all the way back to Mitchell. Mitchell out to Hutchins. Sends it down the line to Wilson. Wilson will fire it in front of goal. Challenge is too strong. That one I agree with.
Just falling into the back of him.
Oh, jeez. Well, it's like an exodus in front of us. Big long aerial. Can Mitten control it? Yes, Mitten can control it. Just got it nicked off him though eventually, but he will go back and get it. Then work in confined quarters. Has it poked away again, but it will be a Saints ball. Has Wells available for him. Back down the line if he wants him. Tries to pick the hard pass through. Tried to find Cleghorn. Didn't quite get there. Loud whistle. Storm could come away. Mitchell will just trot towards the ball in no great hurry. Aerial comes. Of course, as we said, he was accurate before. He just kind of dumped it into the middle of nowhere. Humphreys. Turns and goes back to Gray. Gray will send it into the middle. Dropped off to Buzzico. Buzzico will send it out to the left-hand side. Lovely pass and move from the Storm side, then into Buzzico. Has it knocked away, and it will go for a long corner. The rain is coming again.
Again, the Storm just happy to keep the ball. Bit more pressure put on by the Saints. Gleeson is the high forward there.
Sent to Buzzico, dispossessed by Massey. Saints will try and go. It's a good looking aerial if Gleeson can get hold of it. Just can't. Gleeson throws the stick in the air, almost like a cheerleader. Caught it well as well. Would have liked to see a little pirouette while it was in the air, and that I would have been very impressed. Mitchell slides a pass through. Massey puts the pressure on. Didn't do enough though, and it will come back to Morton. Morton sends it back, and it comes all the way across to Mitchell. Mitchell happy to send it back to Kitto. And Kitto will send it out again.
Be interested to see the possession stats for this second half, if Darren's listening.
He's not right now, he will be. I'm sure he'll send you a message. Wells puts the foot down, works hard down that right-hand side. Lost it a little bit behind it, but now it'll be fired across the front. Nobody there. There's a loud whistle.
Oh, is that a card?
Kitto again?
Yep, Kitto on the green. Well, I don't know. Didn't quite see what before. I think we can get a replay. If someone down there knows.
Not entirely sure. And then it's a 16-yard hit anyway, so confused. Calling me confused. Out to Gray. Gray happy to go all the way back to Humphreys. And Humphreys will come to Gray. 4 minutes 20 to go. Gray ranges into the Storm half, beats a couple, then will fire it forward. Wells does well and gets it under control. Wells flashes at it.
That's
a very important stick from Curtis Wilson.
And you can just see on the little building there how tired Menadu looks after all his work he's put in today. That's just a very tired looking challenge there.
Again, fired forward. Gleeson does well to control it. They have found a foot. Now, can they repeat the short corner?
And that's good vision from Gleeson to see the defenders overcommitting, coming out the ball and just put the ball onto his foot there.
How difficult is this weather going to be for Michael Wells? Is it going to affect his vision? How difficult is it going to be? Keeves is there again, the number 10. Just have a look at that weather. Beautiful weather for farmers. South Australia needs it.
It's half desert, isn't it, South Australia?
Well, I'd say it's more than half. So Keeves is there, Wells is there, somebody else is there, is being hidden by Wells. It's not Daniel Cox is there, Dawson. Injection comes towards Keeves, bobbles around a bit, Keeves will send it forward. Still flashing around there, free hit. Cleghorn asking. Mr. Uncle's just saying, just calm down a bit. Just the trap bobbled around a bit, couldn't allow him to get the full purchase on it.
Got the wrong side of Tamlin there, going for the ball.
Back to Mitchell. Mitchell will fire it forward. Dawson gets a stick on it. Big caller man on. Dawson on the 25, has Tamlin for company. Happy to go back. Then they will come across to Fred Gray. Fred Gray really needs to lift his game now. Humphreys.
3 to go in the half. I would imagine the Storm are parking the bus.
All the yellow shirts, all of them, are in the 25. There is nobody outside the 25 for the Storm.
Are we going to see a keeper being pulled soon?
Fired across the front. Goal by Massey. Just under 3 minutes to go. Massey, who's worked hard in the 3 weeks that we've seen him play, found himself in the right place at the right time. Got the deflection. Good finish as well. That ball was moving. He had to get a stick on it.
Who's the deflection come off?
It's come off Wells. Wells has made the save. Massey was sneaking around behind him. Good poacher's goal. 4-4. 2.5 minutes to go. No one-on-ones though. Just a draw. Hashtag one-on-ones for Super League.
Let's hope they were better than some of them on the weekend.
I love the one-on-ones. So Wells, can they nick a winner? Can either team nick a winner? Whoa, Humphreys didn't really look. Almost hung Gray out to dry, but he did very, very well. Then they will send it out to Dawson. Dawson will try and pick a pass through. Doesn't quite get there. Fry has to harry. Then Mitten will push. Then Lee will push. Wilson, and the pushing is done enough. Mitten will range forward. Then he'll send it to Fry. Fry, 3D skills to get into the circle. Still going, Fry. Still bouncing around in there. Wells is there. Free hit Storm. Wells will engage in debate again with Mr. Uncles. Tamlin Minute and a half to go. Just looks to fire it forward, go for a 16-yard hit. Ball's going to come quickly though. Normally you would say if you were playing for a draw, that's not a bad thing, but the ball kids are going to snuff that out. Out to Humphreys. Happy to go back. And sent across again to Humphreys. Humphreys will look forward, see what he can find. Thought about just throwing it, got caught between two worlds. Now he will play to himself, send himself down that right-hand line. Another stick from Buzzico. Not sure whether that's gone out for a long corner or a push in.
Gone for the long.
Gone for the long corner. Davis all the way back to Keeves. Keeves will send it back out. Now there's a break on. Menadou puts his foot down, works hard. Davis loses his footing. Talking about playing corner. Draw is good enough for the Storm. Saints will want to win. Gray sends it down the line. Wells did what he tried to do.
Very frustrated tonight by looks at Wells.
He's looked frustrated for most of the night. Kitto. Having seen Wells play though, I think that's just how Wells plays.
Yeah.
I think he looks like he's not having fun constantly. And that will do it. 4-all. Wells is still having an argument with Mr. Uncles. Might keep an eye on that. Certainly wasn't happy.
I think did he get called for the third party there? Is that what he's...
Well, he crossed his arms. I don't know what that means.
I probably should.
Is it obstruction or something?
Could be.
But we did miss the Massey goal, but we are going to have a look at some slow motion replays of this one. And the difference really between the two sides is Curtis Wilson. You have to say, if Curtis Wilson wasn't playing, it would have been a very, very different result for the Storm.
No, deadly from the top of the D there on the shorts.
Absolutely deadly. Daniel Mitchell loves a goal. See the smile on his face there. And as the rain continues to fall, we will leave you here, hopefully next week.
We got our
the
replay
weather will
of
be
the
better. Oh, this will be the Massey goal. Just found himself in the right place at the right time. Wells gets a deflection on it and Massey just throws the stick at it.
You can see just before there, Massey's just drifted across, okay, walked across and then waited. Know where he's going. No one's followed him because he's just drifting there, not seeing anything.
Yeah, Massey loved his goal as well. And so, honours even. That's the look at the weather as the rain continues to fall here at Gepps Cross. From me, Dave Webb, and Fred Notman from a very, very moist State Hockey Centre. We will speak to you next week when you join us on Facebook, brought to you by Hockey SA and powered by Spacequake Sports.